In this video, I'm just going to share with you how you can join your Facebook Tarot study group that is associated with your course Tarot Card Success and how to improve your readings using this group. So please note, this group is a private study group just for students of Tarot Card Success only. So if you've managed to stumble across this video in some other way, like on my website or something, please know you do need to be enrolled in this course to be able to apply. And we do have quite a vigorous screening process that you need to go where we verify your enrolment. If you are watching this in some other format, like say for example you found it on my website, then there will be a link in the description to join if you are interested in joining Tarot Card Success. There is a lot of information in this video and I do apologise for that, but Facebook groups can be quite confusing, especially if you've never joined one before or you belong to other similar groups and you might be thinking, well, I can do this in this group, so maybe I can do this in Sal's group. So I want to make sure that you are completely aware of everything that is involved in being in the group, how to get the most out of it, how to make sure you're not breaking any guidelines, and it would also be really helpful for any of you who want to eventually maybe start your own group, because it'll just give you an idea of some of the issues that can come up and how you can deal with them in a very loving and kind way. So this lecture is going to cover how this community can help you with your tarot readings. You'll get the important guidelines and the group etiquette to remember so that your posts never get deleted. You'll learn how to make offers in the group. You'll learn how the feedback templates and exchange templates can rapidly improve your reading experiences, and you'll get the specific steps on how to join. Now, as I have mentioned, this is a huge group, so we have nearly 9,000 and it just keeps growing and growing. And I do have to apologise in advance if one of your posts does get deleted without warning. Please know that you have done nothing wrong by getting a post deleted, but sometimes people are quite busy and they might forget to read the guidelines, or they might forget to go through this video carefully. And so it can occasionally happen that your post gets deleted by an admin if it is outside the guidelines. And I have to do that quite quickly because then other people might see your post and think that it's allowed, and then suddenly there's lots and lots and lots of posts getting deleted. So please take the time to watch this video very carefully. If you decide to watch the video and join and then maybe wait a few months before you post anything, you might want to revisit this video, or just take time to read the welcome message that you get when you get tagged in to avoid getting those beautiful posts deleted. And if you're ever in doubt, just check the rules in the banner. So the first big guideline is please don't request free readings or healings. We're not a free reading group. There are plenty of groups on Facebook where you can, if you just type free readings or free healings into the Facebook search bar, you will find groups that allow that. For us, if you need a reading or a healing, then you must give something back and you can't actually request it. So what I mean by that is people will offer to practice on you. However, you do have to give them detailed feedback. That's really important to remember. So ask yourself when you're taking up an offer for a free reading or a free healing, am I learning anything and am I helping this person learn, or am I just trying to get a free reading? Because if you're really only just trying to get a free reading, it's probably going to be the wrong group for you for that, because that's not the study group that we're trying to encourage. We're trying to encourage everybody to learn. Please don't post any posts in the group that ask someone to pick a card or broadcast any Facebook Live readings, whether yourself or others. So readings in this group are just one-on-one only. They're just for you and someone else. And please don't post any videos of unpacking tarot cards or videos that you have, because it's really hard for my admins and moderators to know what that is without watching the whole video. So it's just important to remember that. But you are very welcome to post as many pictures of your beautiful tarot decks and spreads as you like and make comments about them and recommendations, but please just avoid any type of videos. Please always be kind and respectful. There is a culture of outrage out there right now that I know so many of us who are trying to stay in our loving hearts and trying to improve our lives are trying to avoid. Facebook can be a little bit chaotic, and I do my very best, and I know my admins and moderators do our best, and most of the group do their very best to make sure everyone is kind and respectful. If someone has a difference of opinion, no matter what it is, about the tarot or something else, please move on. And please be respectful of anyone who's posting or offering to help you. And if someone points out that you have broken a guideline, please just be gracious. We all make mistakes. There's no judgment. And I know it can feel a little bit embarrassing, but people are genuinely just there to help you. So just keep that in mind. Always be really kind and respectful. So guideline 4 is about keeping the group spam free and link free. So please avoid posting any links to social media, so to your YouTube channel or Facebook or Instagram or any other business links or any other offers for paid readings or donations. You are very welcome to tell people that you're giving a one-on-one reading for about your channels. However, please be very subtle about this. Don't pressure them into signing up or clicking in anything, and please don't spam them without permission. I recommend that you do this just as the reading's finished. Also, please avoid what we call in the online world hashtag sneaky promos. So sneaky promos are where you're writing something where you're trying to clickbait people to ask for your business details. So things like, I gave the best reading on my YouTube channel last night, which obviously prompts people to say, wow, what's your YouTube channel? Or any memes with your branding on it. So please, if you could stick to those guidelines to avoid getting your beautiful post deleted. Please always write, please PM me or email me when you're offering to practice readings for private feedback or you're offering to exchange a reading. This is because Facebook really doesn't like what are called yes letters. So yes, or I'm interested. And it also makes it difficult for people who are in the group that are trying to see as much of the resources or trying to learn or trying to ask their own questions. If it gets clogged up with just yes, please, me, please, or I'm interested. And it's also for privacy. Like, you don't know who's in the group. As I said, it's a massive group. There could be someone that you're related to that you're not even aware, or your boss, and you might write a question like, if someone offers to practice a reading and you write that question like, should I leave my job? And your boss will be seeing that. So just for privacy reasons, just make sure that everyone is PMing you, or if you don't like the messenger system, then just ask them to email you. And please avoid writing comment below. And one great way you can avoid this happening is if you just turn off the commenting once you have posted your offer. So if you've posted an offer to practice or exchange, as soon as it goes live and you see it there, you can just click on those three dots and just click on turn off commenting. It's important to keep all offers and any questions that you ask tarot focused. So please, we are only sort of practicing tarot readings in here because we're a tarot group. We're not practicing astrology or other types of readings. And also, if you were wanting to know more about crystals or spirit guides or channeling or chakras or mediumship or angels or oracle cards, I do cover that very extensively in the How to Be Psychic study group. So please, you can request to join with that. That's associated with the How to Be Psychic group. That's much better than posting in the tarot group because it does get deleted. We're trying to keep it just tarot focused. Now, one of the common questions is, can I offer readings in exchange for testimonials and reviews? So I am sorry, this is not permitted as we are only for practicing tarot. We're not really a business group. However, I do have a free resource in the link below this video on how to get really great Facebook reviews and how to get testimonials for your business, and the best way to do it with using the guidelines of this group. Can you offer readings in exchange for social media likes and subscriptions? So no, again, my apologies, this is not permitted. It does tend to lead to a lot of chaos and problems because you don't know if people are going to keep liking it or they might unlike you. And again, I do have the video on how to get great Facebook reviews and how to get testimonials, and in that there is a whole section on likes and comments and things like that with your social media. Now, my deepest apologies, but we can't permit astrology readings in the groups. Over the years, they've just caused way too much trouble and people feeling quite anxious. And that's sadly because there has been an increase in hacking, so it's never happened in our group, thank goodness. However, people feel a bit anxious if they've given that private information to someone and that someone has not got back to them with a reading, and they might feel like, oh, that person's just run off with my date of birth. Now, I love astrology readings, but on Facebook they can mean you are exposing yourself to giving away your private information. Star signs are fine because they're obviously, a bit less specific, but always say, when you're taking up any offers, whether it's my group or someone else's on Facebook, I would advise to please be careful of sharing too much personal information when you're sharing things like your date of birth. I think it's a bit different, if you're doing a Zoom reading, for example, so you're going to be face to face, and at that time you can give them your date of birth, because if someone's going to all the trouble to be on Zoom with you and they're offering astrology as part of the reading, then they're curious about it, or they do numerology, then again, I think it's fine because you're seeing them. They're not going to be running off and using your information that way. But if you have to PM them or email them that private details, I would personally steer very clear of that. So, the 3 best opportunities and ways to improve your readings in this group. The first way, post a picture of your tarot spreads and ask for help. And always make sure you are offering your own interpretation first. So say, for example, you get stuck on a card, you don't know what it means in that position, you are very welcome, and in fact I highly encourage you to post it in the group and just put what you think everything else means and say, I'm really stuck on this. Like, it could mean this, but can you help me? It's also a great opportunity to let people know, to ask people if you're on the right track as well. You can post an offer to exchange readings, and you can also practice on others for feedback using the feedback template from the study group resources. So let's start with that first way, which is posting a picture of your tarot spread and asking for help or feedback. As I mentioned, it's really important to offer your own interpretation first. Otherwise, it does kind of read like you're asking for a free reading and it does get deleted. I know it's scary and you can feel a little bit vulnerable, but please trust me, as someone who's been teaching a very long time, and by putting yourself out there and trying, you get to see when you're on the right track, and then you get to see where you can improve, and that's really valuable for your learning experience. If you're using a different deck to the Rider-Waite deck, which is totally fine, and you can definitely do that within this course, just mention what each card is and the position, because not everyone's going to know or recognize the card. So that just helps with people when they're giving you that feedback and trying to help you out. Otherwise, you're less likely to get people being able to help you because they won't know what the card is, or they won't know what the position is. Now, if you're using a spread that's not taught in my course, mention the positions of the spread. So some of you might have come from me and done other courses, or have other systems and ways of doing things, or seen other readers do other things, and you're using those spreads, then just mention each position. So the ones I teach in this are like a 3-card spread, and I teach the Celtic Cross and the Horseshoe. So if it's a different one, then just mention what each position is. Otherwise, people won't be able to help you because they won't know what the spread means. Now, this is how you can make an offer to read one-on-one for private feedback. So you can say something like, hey, I'm looking to give 3 readings in exchange for feedback. Feedback should be given to me within a week, so it's good to set the time frame, and you can expect your reading back within 72 hours or whenever you can give it back. Please PM me with your question. Or you could just do, hi, I'm looking to give readings for feedback, please PM me. And for me, I really do suggest you do this because it avoids you getting overwhelmed, because there will always be more people apply for your readings to practice with than you will be able to in your human lifetime be able to offer. So please limit the numbers. And I suggest no more than 5. I often see beginners jumping in and saying, I'll do 20 readings. And I think, I hope they've got a lot of time on their hands, because it can take a lot of time and it can be draining if you're doing a lot, especially in the beginning. So I suggest doing no more than 5 to start you off. And that way you can keep track of them as well and keep track of your feedback, and it's just a little bit more manageable. And you can always come back and post next week and do more. So again, that's not a rule, that's just a suggestion. Please mention the time frame. So let people know when you're going to complete the reading by. Like if you know that you've offered 20 readings and it's going to take you 3 weeks, like let people know that, because otherwise they're just going to think they've given you their personal information and they've never heard from you again. Also mention when you want the feedback by. That's really important to make sure you're only attracting people to practice on that have time to give that back to you. Now, if you are a beginner, and most of the people in the group are, and you're a little bit nervous, please mention this, because then people will know that they're there to encourage you learning. And as I mentioned, always write, please PM me or DM me or put email. Now, I have a feedback template. It's a free resource that I offer as part of your course, and that you can use with this. You can use it in this group. You can use it in other groups if you decide that aren't my groups. And it really helps to protect yourself from people accepting your offers for a free reading but not giving you back your feedback. Now, everyone loves to receive a free reading, and when you're a beginner, it's hard to realize this. You think, I'll just put an offer out for 20 readings and suddenly 70 people will apply for it. It's a little bit like giving away free ice cream in the shop. Everyone runs to do it. But people can get busy and emergencies can happen, and sadly, it doesn't happen very often in this group, but it happens pretty much in every Facebook group that has psychic readings. Sometimes people can take advantage of free readings. It doesn't happen very often, and that's why I've set up this feedback template to protect you. It can be hurtful to give a reading to someone and they don't honour this by returning your feedback. So I don't want to scare you. I don't want, to make you feel like, oh, I don't want to join the group if that's going to happen. As I said, it doesn't happen very often. I have systems in place to prevent it happening, but occasionally it slips through the crack, and I can guarantee you that this feedback template will reduce this by over 90%. Before I introduced it, people were having it happen a lot more, and the feedback template makes sure that you're going to get your feedback. It highly increases the chances. So what it does is it spells out exactly what is expected of the person receiving the reading and how they can give you the feedback. It includes a code word and a password that they have to send back to you before you do the reading, just so you know that they've read the template. They haven't just rushed in to sign up to a reading that's going to solve their immediate problem and then suddenly conveniently forget to give you feedback afterwards. And that way they know what their obligations are. It also informs them of the system that I have in place for following up on people who don't return your feedback. So as I said, I do highly recommend sending it to people who take up your offers before you start the reading. You can download it in the videos below. It comes in two formats, because I know some of you don't have computers or laptops. Some people are doing this on their phones. So it comes in PDF format, or it comes as a link, like it's a Google link, and you can, if you don't have an iPhone or an Adobe or a laptop. And it also features an instruction manual on how to use it and suggestions to create your own. Now, please know that with the link, it's a bit confusing if you're not used to Google Docs, but if you go to the link and download it, you can't change it. You can only copy and paste and make your new one, because it changes it for everyone. So there's not editing available. There's just viewing, and then you can cut and paste and make your own one that's tailored uniquely to what you want to offer in your readings. And I have suggestions about how to do that as well. As I said, I'm incredibly protective of the readers in this community, and I do have a system in place to make sure that people aren't being taken advantage of. If your feedback or your exchange has not been returned, then please send a reminder to them. And then once 14 days has passed, email team@saljade.com. Mention the name of the group that you're in, because I do have several groups, and the date of the reading. And at the end of the month, that person will be in the group. And after 3 strikes, they'll be politely asked to remove themselves. If I can see that there's someone that's doing this a little bit more and it's not an emergency as a reason, then they'll be asked to remove themselves. And I'll just have to ask, please never post your complaints in the group about someone's done something like this to you, or name them or shame them or post screenshots. Readings do have to be kept confidential, and please trust that I will manage anything that goes wrong for you. This doesn't happen very often. As I said, I don't want to scare you guys, but I just want you to be aware, with big Facebook groups that advertise readings, people can get a little bit excited, and I just want to make sure that no one's feeling that they are being named or shamed or bullied, especially if, for example, they had an emergency and that's why they couldn't get it back to you. So just always reach out to me through that team@saljade.com. Now, this is putting the shoe on the other foot. Please keep in mind, if you are taking up offers, like say someone's offering to practice a free reading on you and you are taking that up, keep in mind that the majority of group members in this group are beginners. Okay, there are some seasoned people that have done the higher level courses, and there's also people that are professionals, but a lot of people are beginners, and so you most likely be working with someone who is a beginner. So please keep the questions very simple. Try not to make them overly complex, and try not to ask them too many questions. Like, give them just one. So the best thing to do is say something like, what do I need to know about this situation? That's best. Please avoid asking questions like, should I marry this person, or should I buy a house? Because these are massively life-changing questions, and you really don't want to, someone who's just learning to read, you don't want to be putting your entire life in the hands of someone with those game-changing questions. Try to keep them simple. And something you might want to use as a rule of thumb is, does Sal teach this in the course? Do I expect that this person will know the answer to this? Again, please don't be demanding. This doesn't happen very often. I'm not trying to scare people, but occasionally you'll get someone who's a little bit anxious about or panicky about a personal life experience. Someone who is experiencing some distress, and that's why you're getting the reading. Please act like you are receiving a gift. Readers are very precious, and they're giving you something precious. Be the kind of client that you would like to attract when you're learning and practicing. Readers do get an overwhelming number of offers each time they post for free practice. So you might not hear back from someone, even if you do DM them, because they might get 20 offers and they're only doing 5. So just be patient. Someone will eventually have the space for you, but know that you might not get someone pick up that offer for you every single time. And again, if you know that you won't have time to do feedback, please don't take up offers. Like if you've got something panicky going on in your personal life and you've snatched a reading because you really feel like you need that guidance, but you know you're super busy and you're not going to have maybe 20 or 30 minutes to give feedback, then please don't take up the offer. So how do you make an offer to exchange a reading? So you might say something like, "Hi guys, I'm offering 3 reading exchanges. I'd like to practice career readings or love readings or just general readings," or you don't even have to say what kind of readings. You can say oracle cards, you can say something else, but I'm open to any question. Please DM. And anyone want to do a reading swap, just send me a message. So it can be that simple. You don't have to overcomplicate it too much. Now, when you are exchanging readings, it's really important to be reasonable and fair about the time that is invested by both parties. So if someone gives you a 30-minute reading with channeled guidance and cards, please don't just give them a 3-card reading that took you 5 minutes. Like, take time to respect what they have given you. And I think it's important to communicate upfront what the expectations are and for how long you expect it to take. Now, you can use the exchange template. I highly recommend it. You can send it to the person you're exchanging with beforehand. And again, it can be downloaded as a PDF or link, and you can create your own. Now, you might ask, how should I give my readings? Like what medium or format? You can give them on Zoom, so you can exchange Zoom links. That's a great free way to do it as well. You can do it by audio message on your phone or through DM, through the Facebook audio. You can email. You can do it via Messenger or another way that suits you. Privately and personally, I feel like Messenger is probably the hardest way because it's easy to lose messages in Facebook. I'm always losing messages in Facebook. That's why my assistant handles my Facebook messages, because there's just sometimes too many for me to keep track of. And so I would advise one of the other ways if possible, or try Messenger and see how you feel. You can also do it obviously on apps like WhatsApp and Viber and Signal if you prefer that as well. Now, if you have questions that are connected to your course content, so just mention where you're up to in the course. So say you've just begun and you're starting to ask questions about the major arcana, that might be, you're just going to get a whole lot of information that you're eventually going to cover in the course anyway. So people can let you know, or I can let you know and say, hey, you'll find that in this section. That way you don't confuse yourself and it just saves your time and others' time. So just point out where you are up to in the course so everyone's aware of where you are. If you need help from me, the quickest way to get help from me is via your Q&A board on Udemy, and I will usually get back to you within 48 hours, unless it's like the Christmas holidays or something. I will usually be back very quickly. If you tag me or you try to message me on Facebook, it can take me up to 7 days to get back to you. As I said, because I do receive hundreds and hundreds of notifications and messages, to get back to you just takes so much longer, whereas I have very specific hours that I will jump on that Udemy board and answer very structurally the questions that you need answered as soon as I possibly can. If there's something that's more personal or it's not connected to Tarot Card Success and you don't want to post it on the Q&A board, just go to saljay.com/contact, and there's I have different forms that you can fill in, and I will usually get back to you that way within 72 hours. Now, if you have higher level, more advanced questions that are beyond what have been taught in this course, so say for example you finished my Tarot Card Success course and you're enrolled in one of my higher level courses that are on Udemy, mention that so that others that are also on that higher level that are in those courses, they can jump in and help you as well. So if you're in the How to Give Career Readings and Life Purpose Intermediate higher level course, the Master Psychic Health Readings and Psychic Wellness, or the Love Readings, as higher level courses, mention that in your question, so then those that are already on the same page as you or on that same thing can get in and help you as well. Now, if you do have business-related questions about starting a psychic healing business, or you want to share your business links or advertise readings or social media channels, then I do have a course called Build Your Spiritual Healing Business on a Budget, where there is a spiritual business Facebook group connected with it that's called the Psychic Healing Hub, and you can join that, and that you have an opportunity in that to share your social media links or to ask questions like that about getting advice about Instagram or YouTube or Facebook marketing or starting a business. So I highly recommend that for doing that. Or if you've completed one of my more advanced courses, as I mentioned some of them before, the health one or the career or the love readings one, you can join the group then once you've completed those courses. If you're enrolled in Build Your Spiritual Business, you don't have to have completed the course. You just can be enrolled in it. Now, as I've mentioned a little bit, sometimes and very, very rarely, there may be a conflict or an issue between a group member. Please always contact me on team@saljay.com so I can resolve it. Please avoid posting or commenting it on the group, as it can spiral out of control. Those of you who are in Facebook groups already have probably seen this happen. So if someone says something that you don't agree with, or they're, it's getting fired up, just please don't get involved. Just report the post or contact me. Don't get involved yourself, because that can not only bring down your own energy, but it can make the whole situation go a little bit chaotic. And as I said before, please never share details of a reading that you've given or received in the group. So, how to join? So it usually takes between 5 to 7 days for a request to be approved. And if you don't follow the steps below, it can take longer. So the first step is to discover what your Udemy name is. So the way to discover what your Udemy name is if you are on a laptop or a desktop, if you go into the main dashboard, as you can see there with that picture where the black arrow is, and there should be a little icon that will either have your picture if you've uploaded your picture, or it will just have a blank avatar picture. So click on that circle and you will see what your name is. Or if you are on a phone device, you can see where that pink arrow is on that right hand side graphic down the very bottom there. Click on the profile and it will tell you what name you've enrolled in. Then visit www.facebook.com/groups/tarot mastery and request to join. Now, this isn't what you would call an active link, so you might need to copy and paste this link. Answer all the Facebook questions. This will avoid delays to your being accepted into the group. So note if your Udemy name is different to your Facebook name. So say, for example, your Facebook name is Daniel Graham and your Udemy name is Daniel G or Danny G, the system won't recognize it. Also note the month that you've joined. If you don't remember that month, like say it was a long time ago, just try to remember the year if you can. Now, please, if it's been longer than 14 days, reach out to team@saljay.com with all the relevant details of when you tried to join and what the name of the group is. But check your Facebook messages regularly, because sometimes it might be that we haven't been able to find your name in the system and she'll just need some more information from you to verify your enrolment. So thank you again so much for your patience, and please enjoy the group, and I look forward to seeing you thrive in the group.